Tell the story about Vinny Jones coming to set in Derby.
Well, he was a fine, brilliant, upstanding actor.
He's an amazing actor.
He actually is a brilliant
So
actor.
talented.
Very, very charismatic. But the thing is with Vinny that people perhaps don't quite realise over here is that in England he is like an absolute megastar because he was a soccer player, football player, and notorious. Like, there's a really famous picture that's actually in Madness of Vinny grabbing another gentleman's bollocks. While on the soccer field. So he was known as a really, really tough, hard footballer. So when Vinny came to set, it was a pain in the arse because we had the press turn up and we had people trying to film us, and there's actually a little shot of there's like a fight scene between Vinny and Jay in the movie, which is a very mild spoiler, and there's you can actually YouTube that shit and see some asshole hanging off the side of a bridge filming it on his phone.
But Vinny brings a presence. He's tense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the guy, we were filming, and for like a couple of days there, everything was all, at least I was there, and it was all high fives and smiles, and then it was like, Vinny Jones is here,
What, you fucking geezers.
He's like,
fucking work.
I thought he wanted to fucking kill you at one point.
There is that.
No, like physically hurt you.
Yeah. But, I'm not sure I'm going to tell that.
I was like, this dude might physically kill you.
Yeah, I thought we were going to box at one point.
Yeah, because you were trying to throw suggestions to him, and he thought you were trying to fuck with him, but you were really
I was kind of trying to fuck with him.
So Vinny was a tense guy. He comes on set, and first the schedule had Jay up to film with him first. And I remember Jay was like, fuck that, I'm not acting with him first. Like, this guy's intense.
In fairness to Jay.
No.
Actually, on a serious note, in fairness to Jay, that was actually quite a smart directorial decision.
It was a huge move. It was a huge play.
He wanted to direct him.
You want to see him in action.
Exactly,
you don't want to be on screen in front of him. But the schedule on first was...
Had Jay first. And unfortunately, that meant, because Jay made that decision, it meant that the first person up with Vinny, when he comes on set, and you've got people outside the building, it was quite a big, trying to get a glimpse of him, it was quite
a big deal. It was a big show.
Especially Vinny in Derby, he's like the LA guy now, everyone was quite excited.
They ran a fucking news article about it the day he got there. Like, it was on the front page of the newspaper, like Vinny Jones in Derby.
Yeah, and so first up, straight away with no notice, it's like, Mickey, you need to get in now. Like, literally now. And of course,
I was supposed to not go for a couple hours.
Yeah, longer. It was like 4 hours you worked.
Yeah, it was like 4 hours. I thought I was ready to go.
And the thing is that it's so important, as anyone will know, doing any sort of filming, is that you need to make a strong first impression.
Absolutely.
And so we were all super nervous to get it right first time. And actually, when we did get it right, he was cool. He was fine after that. But he doesn't know if he's on some bullshit job. He's just flown from LA to Derby, man. He's already pissed off. Yeah. And so we needed to get it right, and it was genuinely really tense.
Right, because he shows up on set, and Dom comes over to me and says, "All right, listen, right, no pressure, but you need to be brilliant."
I think I literally
he did say that to me. No, I'm fucking quoting him right now. No pressure, but you must be brilliant. Because it's our first shot with Vinny. And if he doesn't think you're brilliant, the whole production is going to be a fucking sham. And I'm like...
I think I literally probably said that.
No, you did. You said you did. You told me...
sham?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because Mickey, in piss taken aside, Mickey is the type of actor you can say that to.
Yeah,
he doesn't need that sort of protection. You can just say, look, I really need you to go in there and smash it.
He did. He said, because this is a big deal. And, this is Vinny's... Because, you're in Derby. There's like we're very running and gunning. It's a very independent movie, and nobody does the independent space better than you in Derby. Nobody does the independent space better than you, period.
Thank you.
I've been on a lot of independent films, and I've been on a lot of big films. I've been on films that have grossed $600 million. There were $30 million budgets, and you got a bunch of fucking people running around doing God knows what. Like, what is that guy's job? I don't know what his job is. His job is to just do fucking nothing, I guess. And when Dom has a show, everyone has a very specific job, and it speaks to my heart because of the independent world that we live in and the skits that we did. And I remember one time making fucking Neil dig a hole for like 20. We had people digging holes.
That hole till 4 o'clock in the morning, and all of us.
And
I remember that shit.
and you know, which was a great lesson in script writing, because it was like, if there's a fucking hole in the ground, you gotta make it now. Neil was like, it was the first time Neil had like wrote in a script and was like, oh shit, like I should probably rethinking this better, like, because it was like, all right, well now we gotta bury the body, and we were like, fuck, we gotta dig a fucking huge hole. I had to call a friend of a friend who had a house in Malibu, and she still gives me, she's like, you put a fucking hole in my ground. To this day, she's like, you know,
and it had to be like deep. It shouldn't be like,
deep enough for somebody to lay inside of it.
And it was a hot summer day, and I remember like we bust out Carl, Neil, Theron. There was like 6 dudes in the heat digging a hole for like a 5-minute shot.
Yes.
This was like, I mean, these dudes were on it. But anyway, point is Dom, nobody does the independent space better than you. And this was a fantastic independent movie. And when I went on that set with Vinny, I remember, you know, there's a vibe. You know, there's not the huge trailers on that set. There's not people running around kissing your ass, grabbing you at fucking sushi or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not a big fluff movie set. This was a nitty gritty to the bones. Like, we're capturing what we need, because at the end of the day, it's what's in front of the camera, right?
Fuck yeah.
You could have 400 people standing behind the camera with the fucking, you know, show and dance and cotton candy machine, but like, if you're not, you know, what's in between the frame is what really matters. And we caught some great stuff. And I know that when Vinny showed up, there was that vibe of like, what is this, right? Like, Vinny wants to know like where he's at. He's in Derby, like, of all places. And it was a big deal that first scene hit hard. And I remember acting, and it was a big deal.
You absolutely knocked it out of the park. It's hard not to sound sycophantic, which is like an important British word for kissing your ass. But it is hard not to sound sycophantic. But you absolutely smashed it, and that remains one of my favourite scenes in the film.
It's a big scene.
It's
we won't
really
spoil it.
Fun scene.
We will not spoil it, even though we want to.
I desperately want to, because he does this shit that still, I've seen this film like a fucking billion times, and it still makes me laugh every time I watch his face do this thing in that scene.
It's a great scene. But the point, you know, I remember doing the scene, and obviously it's comedy. I throw a little improv in there, I do a little this, a little that, and I'll never forget sitting across. I mean, Vinny's a fucking intense guy, right? And he acts. He's no less intense. If anything, he turns up the volume, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the scene, there was like a second pause, and he looks at me and he goes, "Good on one, boy." And that was it. Like, from that moment on, Vinny Jones knew that he was in a legit fucking, you know, movie, and everything went smooth from that point on.
That's literally what he said. Yeah, he just nodded and said, "Yeah."
He said, "Good on one, boy."
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, man.
Like that face, like from fucking
and Vinny chilled.
Head Thieves.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I talked to
No, you know, he made there's a face he makes in Head Thieves at the table. And he's like, when Dante's on the phone, he'd be like, okay, and I can see the face exactly.
Yeah, all right, yeah. It was
Vinny was chill after that, and you could literally see the difference in his attitude, literally instantly. He was like, okay, I'm not in a shit show. This is all right.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's all right.